Hello again. We're back. I'm a little bit further along. And I suppose maybe first we'll show you what I got going on from the bottom. I've just been getting in there with my hands and that pliers I showed you in the last video and trying to get everybody looking pretty. I haven't pulled any splits. Ooh. That one right there, that's sticking out a little bit. We'll have to fix that yet. But in general, things are looking pretty good. So I didn't have to pull any splits from way tight in there. And you'll see this one I have some wrap on. This one I got to the point where I'm ready to go to the next stage on that one, and I wanted to get some wrap on there to keep it really tight. It's important to get as much twist as you can and get this really tight right here, because say if I pull a root from right there where my fingernail is, if I don't have the twist behind it as tight as it's going to twist, when I go to twist past the split, that root will start to spin a little bit, and if I pull it out horizontally, it'll end up creeping up and have a root sticking out this way, and that's really not what I want. So if you can't get things twisted up as tight as possible, and you might think if it seems like there's still some flex in there, you might want to pull your root a little more towards the bottom so that if it does spin this way, it doesn't end up sticking out through the top. But the one right next to it right here is pretty good too. So I'm going to show you how I go from here. Whoops, best laid plans. Oh, I can't even see them in there because I'm blind with these on. Let's see if I can fish. Okay, we got that out. Yeah, you can't see what I'm doing right now. The field of view on these glasses is not that great, but I'm just fishing my tools out of the canopy, and we'll show you what I have, what it looks like from the bottom here. You can see that one right in there. I think that'll close up a little bit right there when I twist that root. I might have to get in there with the tappy tap and tap it back, or if need be I could re-explode this one, but I think that'll twist around when I tighten it up. Of course, I don't worry about the bottom too much. Focus more on the top. Okay, let me show you what I got going on here. Do I got all my tools? Yeah, I think so. Oh, and one thing about the wrap I wanted to tell you quick. This piece of wrap right here was put on using that roll of wrap. And there's videos way down below if you scroll down to show you how I make this new rolls of the plastic wrap. And a quick tip is, like when I was wrapping the trunk and the main branches, I wouldn't use the wrap all the way down to the end of the roll, because when I first started using these, they were quite a bit thicker. Once they get down kind of skinny, I stop using them, because then I can cut them in half with a razor blade. You can see that's the side that the razor blade sliced. I can make smaller rolls of wrap that are thinner, that are better for tight places like this. So if you are making wrap like I am, once you get your rolls down a ways that you're using on the trunk, don't keep going and making them super tiny. Kind of stop and put them off to the side so you can cut them in half later. Or if they're really long, you can cut them in thirds. The light ain't too good today. I don't know what happened there. Well, maybe you guys can still see this. But what I'm going to do here is the mini strap wrench. There's videos way down where I show you how I make one of these. And for those that aren't going to go look, I just cut this out with a little jigsaw, drilled a hole in a longer one, and the strap is just basically super glued on there because there's no way I could get a screw or anything in there to hold it. But yeah, go look at that tiny strap wrench making video. At least I think I made one of those. If I didn't, somebody correct me, and I will show you how I make one of these. And it's important to get that first wrap on there as tight as you can. Oop. Oh yeah, it's too big to pass by there, but we'll slide it out just a little bit and hopefully slide it back. And it takes a little bit to get it to grip, but once you get it to grip, you can kind of call that bouncy bounce, or I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. You can get in there with your channel locks. Twist that baby up tight. And then I will get in here with my pliers and just kind of look around and see if there's any wires sticking out funny. Okay, that's twisted about as tight as I can get it. I'll take the wrench off without trying to disturb it too much. Now the neat thing about this new wrap, the stuff I made from the pallet wrap, is it's got a lot more stretch to it, and it's stronger than that food grade stuff. But I'll show you how we do. Oh, let's get these out of the way. Those are always in the way. And once again, it's important to get that first one as tight as possible, or it's just going to spin on there. And I'm doing what I call a strand wrap versus a sheet wrap. And that is the wrapping sheet strand thing, as explained a long time ago, but pretty self-explanatory. I'm just making sure that it stays a strand, because it's stronger that way. You can pull on it more and get it tighter. And you can see I'm using that one finger to keep it tight when I go around the bottom. Got to keep tension on there because we want that to squeeze those wires so they're as tight as possible. Make strong roots. Okay, now I'm going to go from a strand wrap to a sheet wrap. You can see the webbing right here. I'm just going to let it spread out a little bit, and it's important to keep the roll kind of tight to the branch, because when you pull the roll out from the branch, it kind of naturally wants to turn into a strand. And it's also important to try and stretch it while you're doing this, because that stretching is what's going to make it stay wrapped and not come loose. And then for the last bit, you want to stretch it as much as you can, because that's going to help keep it tight. And then I'm just going to pull it till it snaps. Bring that a little bit around. And this doesn't always work. That little bit I'll just yank off of there. And then I get in there with my fingernails and pull that whole thing back as far as you can, because the root gets wider as you go back, so that's going to pull, make the plastic even pull a little tighter. Now that one I got a little closer than this one, but if I sit here with my fingernails, boy, you got to have tough, nice strong fingernails for this, so I know you folks with weak fingernails might have a tough time. But now say if I wanted to pull a split right here, this wrap is flexible enough that if I pull real hard or get in there with my pick and kind of force it, I could force that split back into that wrap a little bit. But that's about as tight as you can get it. Make nice strong roots. And another thing with the roots that's kind of important is, if anything, you want your root to be more this way rather than down this way. You don't want to have your roots starting to go down. It's easier to, I don't know, it just works out better for getting the thing level. If you leave your roots like this one, you can see it's up a little bit more. But whatever you do, don't pull them down. You'd rather have them a little bit more this way. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing I just did to all the rest of them. And after that, I suppose sooner or later I gotta start dealing with these, and I gotta start figuring out how I go from a perfect symmetrical pattern to introducing the lack of pattern and make it work. And I don't even know how to explain that yet, but I'll think about it. I suppose it has to do with, I got to look at the tree here and kind of make the same knot pattern up here. I don't know. I don't have a good way to explain that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them, and I'll catch up with you folks after I get that done. Talk to you later.